This is IGN.
The most uncomfortable, cozy game I never wanted to put down. This is your IGN review of Wanderstop by Shaylin Coton. When I saw that the minds behind the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide were also the ones making Wanderstop, I knew what to expect, or at least I thought I did. I anticipated its immensely emotional story, wry sense of humor, and at least one strange twist, but while I got all of those things and more, what I didn't see coming was that a game about making tea and avoiding burnout would force me to grapple with my own holdups around productivity in such an intimate way. For as sweet and wholesome as it may seem on the surface, this is a piping hot cup of tea that left a lasting mark when spilled. Before we go any further, let me warn you, the less you know about Wanderstop's story at the start, the better. I'm going to avoid any major spoilers, particularly since its compelling central twist arrives very early on. But a big part of the enjoyment here is following both the emotional journey of the main character, Alta, as well as the mystery surrounding the woods she finds herself in. If you already think you might enjoy a game like this without more convincing, just go play it knowing that I give Wanderstop an enthusiastic recommendation. Then you can come back here later and say, wow, thank you so much, IGN reviewer person. This game has left me feeling strangely hollowed out and yet so full at the same time. I loved the characters in this game in ways I didn't anticipate, from the adorable pretend knight Gerald and his overbearing love for his son, to the boisterous Nana, whose fiercely competitive nature lands her shop on Wanderstop's doorstep to try and run you out of business. I even liked Alta, and let's be very clear, Alta is not a likable character. She is thick-headed, abrasive, and sometimes outright mean. But we don't always completely love ourselves or the way we act towards others either, do we? The customers who visit Wanderstop are impressively diverse. Each visitor has their own unique design, drinking animation, and personality, all of which shine. Even the customers who are initially just as abrasive as Alta eventually stand out as quirky, complex people with their own deep and emotional reasons for having stumbled into Wanderstop. These characters are colorful, but it's important that they aren't just quirky for quirky's sake either. Each one reflects a little bit of Alta back at her, helping to advance her own emotional journey forward, and saying goodbye as they inevitably moved on was always difficult. Also, there are Pluffins, which are adorable little penguin guys with giant eyebrows who live in a coop on the Wanderstop grounds. The joy I found in stumbling across these little kleptomaniacs, picking them up and shaking them around to drop whatever package or seed they'd stolen was immense. And yes, you can pet the Pluffins. The music itself doesn't just fill the empty spaces, it tells its own stories. Each customer has their own musical theme, so even though their conversations didn't have any voice acting, they all felt deeply engrossing. On top of this, the music of the clearing will subtly and sometimes not so subtly change over time and with major story moments. Themes that once felt comforting and idyllic can abruptly become unnerving with impressive precision. Wanderstop might technically be a cozy game in this way, but it is not a comfortable one. Sure, making tea and cleaning up the tea shop is fun and relaxing, and solving each customer's tea order is just challenging enough. But I cried during my first playthrough. A lot. There were times when I felt like I was grieving, not just over a sad moment or for the loss of a character, but also a loss of self. Wanderstop constantly put me up against situations that were not just uncomfortable, but that intentionally went against the grain of what you normally expect from these types of games in order to make its point. Every inch of Wanderstop pushes the conventions you'd expect of similarly wholesome games. Its vibrant colors, quirky characters, and enchanting music are used to tell a compelling story that forces you to grapple with both its lead character's insecurities as well as your own. It's a powerful adventure not just about burnout, but about how deeply painful it is to free ourselves of coping mechanisms that may have previously kept us secure. At the same time, Wanderstop's simple but satisfying tea brewing experimentation serves as a safe and entertaining space to do that deep digging. There aren't many games like Wanderstop out there currently, but for all our sakes, I hope there will be soon. Wanderstop's IGN score? 9 out of 10. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Wanderstop updates, visit us at IGN.com.
spoken layer.